Right, I'm Stumpy Leech. It talks about Mission Motorsport, the impact it's had on my life, and our Thursday night racing clubs. This is about the eighth go I've had at this. Tried being funny, that didn't work. Tried walking around, do a bit of a William Willard, that didn't work either. So I'm just going to sit down, talk, and occasionally refer to my notes. Otherwise, it's going to be a disaster. It'll probably be a disaster anyway, but we'll crack on. Right, so I'm Stumpy. Did 12 years in the Royal Air Force Police. A lot of time as a dog handler. Really enjoyed it. Certain things happened whilst I was on duty within the UK that I didn't deal with at the time. Didn't deal with. A number of friends haven't dealt with the same situation either, so we're all pretty not all right with it. But that's something that we'll work on. About 2-3 years ago, possibly more. The things that I hadn't dealt with caught up with me. Basically made my brain decide to switch everything off because I hadn't listened to it. Fell over figuratively and literally, if that's the thing you're supposed to say. Down to the I was collapsing, dog was trying to pick me up and my brain was all over the place. Doctors thought it was something in my brain, so took my driving license off me, which just made things worse. Turns out it was just my brain deciding that because I hadn't listened to it and hadn't got help in the stressful environment I was in at that time, it was just going to turn things off until I started to listen. Shut myself away for 6 months. My wife, the Duchess, then had enough of that because I was growing into my chair. Still am growing into my chair actually. And she packed me off to Bicester Heritage, which is an amazing place to go and see these guys called Mission Motorsport. Read a bit online and that kind of stuff. Saw a guy with big silver hair, looked a bit like Nick Knowles' dad. He was on there, and then some crazy looking sort of archetypal officer type with funny coloured trousers and that kind of stuff. Plus the people that actually do the work were there as well. So made some phone calls. Duchess made some phone calls through a convoluted thing of train journeys and waypoints and stuff. Eventually got to Bicester. Met everyone there. Did the usual thing where you just stand around looking at the cars, going, "Oh, that's nice," and that kind of thing. And then slowly got drawn in through the warmth and kindness of the people that were there. Started talking to people, which was important. Started to then get things going. I haven't really spoken to anyone for 6 months at that point. There were also agencies there as well. Veterans UK was one. Spoke to the amazing Anne, who helped me, although I didn't think I was entitled at the time, to successfully apply for a war pension. Also PIP, which helped us financially, which meant there wasn't a rush for me to get back to work. And then it also started a thing of getting help via the TILS system, which is awesome, which is for veterans, and also a few other things. Now, despite a few false starts and that kind of stuff, I now work for a Veterans Peer Support Network, all call signs, who are great. I've had a bit of a bad week this week, as you do, but at least I was able to suggest that or to mention that, and we're working through that. But it's not always positive. There are ups and downs, but as long as you can handle the downs and acknowledge them, then you can help to get back up again. But again, all my friends from Mission and all the other places that I've been, step in and do that, which there'll be more of in a moment. But yeah, I mean, through Mission, I've done some amazing things that I never thought I'd be able to do. I've done a couple of laps around Silverstone with Chris Harris in his E63, sideways in the rain, overtaking supercars and him getting told off, and then we had to come in because his brakes were on fire. Embarrassed myself there because I misidentified a couple of old BMWs, which I was confidently selling with one thing and they were the other. To my wife, that was a minor thing, but perhaps some of you lovely people may understand my deep regret in ballsing that one up. Bit of Spa, teched on a 24-hour race, which is amazing, but went to the Race of Remembrance, which is an unbelievable thing. And if any of you ever get to go, please do. It's difficult to describe, it's difficult to understand unless you've been there, so please go. If it's on this year, which hopefully it will be, please go. Anyway, so we roll on. Thursday nights, when COVID happened, lockdown happened, Jim and that lot at Mission understood that a lot of us would be struggling more than normal because we're all locked away, especially with the first lockdown. So I suggested the 27 races thing where there was the PlayStation and Xbox. I've got an Xbox, so I went for that. The Xbox Thursday night club is very informal. It's very much like a mess room or a naffy bar. We're there for the racing, ostensibly. I'm rubbish at racing. Me and a couple of other guys have started team Backmarkers Racing because we're always at the back and we're always messing about and breaking things. Some of the guys that are a bit more serious at the front sometimes get upset, but it's all good fun. But it's the camaraderie that we've got in this thing that makes it amazing. Good example is if one of us is struggling and someone notices on Twitter or whatever, we'll reach out privately to that person, which is a massive thing. Or the flip side of that is if you are struggling a little bit yourself, you're like, oh, you know, you can reach out to them because we spend this time together. It's very important for all of us to spend this time together on a Thursday because you shut everything else off and you can be you, old school you, unfiltered, completely unfiltered, for an hour or two on a Thursday night. I mean, we've got veterans in there. We've got like someone who sells luxury watches, which is amazing. We've got a guy who does lights and stuff for emergency services. We've got Dusty, which I want to talk about. Dusty, he's a sort of he's that person that, if you met him you'd understand. But anyway, it's an amazing thing. We're going to try and record a little bit of racing. It is absolute chaos most of the time. If we make it past the first turn without someone on fire or 5 cars up in the air or whatever, then it's a good race. What we tend to do is the first few races are fairly serious because we've got guys that have got the full seat and pedals and steering wheels and stuff, whereas us at the back have just got controllers and that kind of thing, so it works really well. But the level of piss taking and fun in those things, like I say, it makes you feel normal for that little bit of time in these abnormal times, and that's amazing. I'm only supposed to do 10 minutes, so I better leave a bit of time to put a bit of racing in. But if you can, come and join us on a Thursday night on the Xbox. Reach out to Jim, Cameron, and come and join us. It's a couple of hours of normality. Brilliant. Thank you very much. Bye bye.